Welcome again, everyone, to Books and Betches, not to be confused with Books and Babies. Oh my God, you got it. Okay, first of all, go watch this on YouTube. There's a lot happening right now. Second of all, we've recorded this intro already. I may have not hit record on the podcast, so we already did this, and we're doing it again. I'm sorry.
Kristen gave me shit for not saying babies because I'm pregnant.
Oh, there you go. That's it. It's been... Put the lighter down. Put the lighter down. Put the lighter down.
You know how many of those I've seen on TikTok where I'm like, I get it. You have a small finger.
I can't. I wish this never happened.
I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead. I'm delirious today.
It has been a minute since we recorded a podcast.
We left you off a cliffhanger.
We did. We left you hanging on a cliff. For that, I don't apologize. It was fun.
Not at all.
Didn't people say something about Goosebumps?
So on Goosebumps episode, we were talking about how all the chapters ended on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, and then I screamed, you know. And so then at the end of the episode, we ended on a cliffhanger, and everyone's like, wow, nice job ending on a cliffhanger. Like, that was so cool. It was so well done. Meanwhile, we didn't plan that.
No,
we did it on purpose.
We didn't make that connection.
Well, we didn't make the connection though. That it was
no. I'm saying we did it on purpose.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wink.
Yeah, but that made me think of like authors and how when they write things and we interpret them like so much with the green light and like this and that, like they probably just wrote the book and then we're like, oh wow, these people are making these assumptions, and to me that's hilarious.
That's probably like why people, because I was enjoying people's fan theories.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So what did people think about our new guest? What did they think it was going to be?
There was some people that thought it was like one of our friends, like a Corey, or
Corey.
like even Olivia, or
Oh, okay. I was gonna say as if we'd hype our friend up that much, but like an Olivia or a Corey makes sense.
Yeah. So like they were on the, you know, somebody even said Jay, and I was like,
I would do it.
He might come back, but like,
Yeah.
but yeah,
But a lot of people were like, baby?
well, I think it tipped people off because I did say that I was trying in the mental health episode.
Yeah.
So I do have a very funny story about.
So wait, if you haven't
Our
figured it out
pregnancy.
yet, Erica
I am
is
pregnant,
pregnant.
yeah. I am.
Are we telling
Today
everybody
is-
the gender?
I think I did already.
On Instagram, but what if they're not on our Instagrams?
I am having a boy. I have a penis inside of me right now.
Jesus Christ.
I knew she'd go that way.
You had to
I
say
knew
that.
she'd do it. I knew she'd
Oh, this is a triple S podcast. We swear, we spoil, and we talk about sex. Erica, I'm sorry. Continue.
It is the miracle of life.
You're right.
But yeah. So wait, what was I saying?
We have a funny story. Well, she has a funny story,
oh.
but she won't share it to the whole world.
Yeah, I can.
Patreon.
I have a funny story. It's super embarrassing. It's super silly. I just don't want to share it with 20,000 people, or like, you know, however many people listen to us. So I am putting it behind a paywall. And if you do really want to, or you're very interested in the story, I guess you could message me and I could tell you. But it is going on our Patreon, so you guys will hear the full story. And
So
we're gonna cut this out.
All right. Okay. If you're gonna tell us, let's tell it now. I'll cut this.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. We're back. If you want to go listen to those incredible stories that are very much rated R in some aspects, then go see it on our Patreon.
Or for drug use.
Okay.
It's a good spoiler.
I want to say, like, someone had mentioned in the comments being like, oh, Maria's reaction told me that's a pregnancy announcement.
Yeah.
Right. I just want to say, y'all, did I do good at acting?
Yeah, because me and Maria knew, bitch.
We knew. We planned the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I want us to tell the story of how we found out. So February is coming. It's Valentine's Day time. I'm, as you all know, single as fuck. And so Erica's like, well, John has to work. Maria, do you want to hang out? And I like teared up inside. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to hang out for Valentine's Day. And then Chris and his boyfriend ended up getting busy. So we all just...
I made a very nice like dinner.
It was amazing. It was
I made a very nice Valentine's
best
Day
Valentine's Day
dinner.
I've ever had.
It was beautiful.
And so we all
I got
go
them
to
candy
Erica.
and everything. Like
We all go to Erica's house for Valentine's Day. She made a great pasta. Kristen comes over and she I took it out of the other episode, I think, but our girls have IBS issues.
Bad.
So Kristen comes home,
Bad,
comes to
y'all.
the house, and she's like, gotta go to the bathroom. Like, barely says hi.
I almost didn't make it.
Yeah, every time
It's
you
an
almost
hour.
don't make it.
First of all, it's an hour to Erica's house, and 4 times I almost stopped on the side of the highway.
So anyway, that's a glimpse into Kristen's life.
Yeah.
So she barrels in, goes straight to the bathroom, does her deed. I'm talking to Erica outside, and all of a sudden Kristen comes out, and she's just like, "What did you say? You were like." So
I was like-
I see like a pregnancy test in the trash can.
No,
Pregnant?
I walked out and I was like, so Erica, because we knew Erica was trying.
Yeah.
She has been telling us that she's trying to get pregnant. It's been a thing. We were going to have a drunk episode.
Yep.
I was pumped. I bought this giant fucking margarita glass. Guys, it is the size of this table.
That very next podcast, we're supposed to do a whole drunken
That,
episode.
like,
The
next
second
day.
I'm not pregnant, I will just slug that margarita.
But either way, I was pumped. I was like, yeah. And Erica goes, well, if I don't end up drinking, you'll know if I'm pregnant or not. And I was like,
Yeah.
don't fucking ruin this
Yeah,
for me.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
being selfish. I'm just kidding, guys. So
You're not.
I go in the bathroom, I'm doing my thing, and I look to the left, and I'm like, that motherfucker. Right on, it was like out of a movie, y'all. Right on top of the garbage, sitting perfectly in my view.
Get the fuck out of here.
Pregnancy test. And I'm like,
There's probably like 6 of them just like sprinkled.
Yes.
They're all saying like, yes, pregnant.
she wasn't even trying to like hide her.
Like they're all like the digital ones.
you can't not unsee it. Says pregnant.
So I walk out of the bathroom and I look at Erica. I was like, so Erica, do you have anything to tell us?
Oh, that's how you did it. Yes.
Yeah. And she was like, and like did that. And I was like, you're pregnant? And Maria's like, wait, what? And I was like, yeah, I saw the pregnancy test in the fucking, sorry to take that away from
I
you.
was like, man, how was she going to tell us? And she was going to tell us the podcast. So like Kristen ruined it, but that's how we found out.
It's hilarious.
I was
It
gonna
was so
like
funny.
set up a secret like on my phone and like get your real reaction.
Yeah.
The thing is, either way, we were going to know because of that drunk episode.
Because of the drunk episode.
So
I was
it's
gonna
like-
tell you. I just wasn't gonna tell you from the trash. Live from the trash.
fucking hilarious.
But I told John this, and he was like, "That is the most Erica thing that's ever happened."
it's just so funny.
You're just like, it's just so
It
like
is so
absent.
good.
I'm
Yeah.
just for somebody who has a pretty high IQ, I am very absent-minded.
oh man.
Like I just am so fucking stupid. Like that did not even cross
That's
my
not
fucking
true.
mind.
You're not stupid.
You're not dumb.
Well-
I'm telling you that I'm fucking dumb when it comes to that kind of shit.
I can't wait to see what this kid is like. So all right. Now we need to get
20 minutes in. Hey, we're going to do a book today.
This is
Yeah, we
this
actually are
is-
talking about books.
This is a new season. We don't know what season it is.
I think it's
I'd have to
4.
look.
I think it's 5.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's why we've been at it for a minute, y'all. I mean, it's been over a year.
I could probably tell you how many episodes.
Do you notice how we still don't have
68.
sponsors because this is a hobby and
Yeah.
Actually, we do have a sponsor.
Anchor.
Anchor is our sponsor, technically.
everybody has
We,
anchors.
I would like everyone to know we've made $23 so far.
Yay, us!
Let's be completely transparent for a second. We kind of do want to start making money on this podcast because here's the deal. We all work a lot. We
lot.
have a full-time job.
Yep.
This podcast, it's fucking hard to read and do all this stuff while having a full-time job, but we love it. It's like a hobby.
Yep.
And we don't want to like bombard you guys with ads. That shit's annoying. Then you
No.
got to skip and skip and skip. Like it's not fun, right? But to be transparent, to keep this going, we pay for studio time. We do these things. We're doing everything out of our own pocket, which is fine. We are in a place of privilege that we could do that. However, I think we want to start trying to do something like because we want to do more.
You're right.
We want to
Yeah.
be able to like meet people. We want to like hang out with people. We want to
I would love to do
Do
a meet and
merch.
greet.
Yeah,
Like-
we'd love to like go on tour. Or something
Yeah.
like
It's not
that.
charging, my love.
and the only way to do that is to bring in some extra money.
Yeah.
Or else we're all going to be
Yeah.
fucked. So to be completely transparent, we are going to try to start, moving more towards that. And Erica will tell you all the numbers if you need them. We'll tell you exactly how much money we're making and what we're doing.
Yeah, again, full transparency. It's
Yeah,
like
we don't care.
There are other podcasts that also do it, and they, everybody needs to make a living in some way. And if
Yeah.
we want to continue having great quality here in this awesome studio, it costs money, and unfortunately, that's just
Dude,
how the world
how
works.
sick would it be?
And inflation,
How sick would it be though to make a shit ton of money and this be our full-time job?
dude.
I would actually
I'd
read.
love
I
that.
would
so many
love
books.
for this to be our full-time job, but it makes it fucking hard
I
when
know.
we have
Full-time
difficult
jobs.
we have difficult full-time jobs.
Yeah.
But anyways, that was my spiel. The book that we're reading this week.
I will also, full transparency, you guys like that I told you that I was going to post a bunch of reels because of
Making
we got
money.
like randomly selected to make money.
Yeah.
I I was super excited because like the first couple that I did, we made like I think it was like 0.05
Like 50
I
cents?
think it was zero. No, it was 0.005
per
for
view?
every view or play
Okay.
or whatever. And I was like, yo, that's awesome. Like, we can make some serious money. I've made $115. Like, it's not a lot. And
No.
I've posted quite a lot. So
I'm sure they're not really counting every view.
I think there's like thresholds in
Yeah.
my head because I haven't gotten over like
YouTube
more than
has
like 12
thresholds
or
as well.
13,000. So I think that if like we hit like a 50,000 reel, I think maybe that would cash out more. So
Interesting.
we have not made any money.
Okay, so the book we're covering today is Winter Worlds by A.G. Riddle.
A.G. Riddle. And
I
this
think
was
that's his name. Hold on, I'm gonna check.
it's A.G. Riddle.
Nice, go me.
And this was actually recommended to us in our Discord in
really?
in the books Kristen reads.
Books Kristen reads. Yep.
Yep, Nicole B. If you're listening, thank you so much for recommending this book. And it's a trilogy.
It is.
Yeah,
It is.
A.G. Riddle is a really good author.
I love the way it was written.
I did. I can't wait to talk about this book. I really. So I rated this book. First of all, the this batch of episodes is sci-fi.
Yeah, we forgot to say that.
So as you know, we record these episodes in batches, and we're trying to do a different genre every batch. That might change in the future, like randomly.
I think we'll dabble in different genres,
Yeah.
but it won't be a committed thing.
For sure. So this month was sci-fi. So we picked 3 sci-fi books, and that is the most important information that you need to know moving forward.
We should tell them what sci-fi books are.
Yeah. So it's this one, Winter World.
And then we have The First Sister by Lyndon Lewis.
Yep.
Lyndon A. Lewis, I believe. And then Dark Warrior by Anna Carvin.
Wow. How do you remember these names?
don't
Because I read them all.
Yeah, I don't.
know the authors.
I
though.
never look at
Anna
authors.
Carvin.
Just read-
Dark Planet Warriors by Anna Carvin.
Yeah.
And then The First Sister by Lyndon Lewis.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I read 2 out of the 3. I've been doing so good, y'all, reading all the books, and
Work is hard.
am
Work is really hard.
I had 3 huge projects due at work, and like my whole life has been just doing that. But we're here, and I'm ready to ask all the questions for that 3rd book.
Okay. Which of you felt stupid reading these books? Because I felt fucking dumb.
Dark Warrior, I did not feel dumb at all.
No, not that one.
I didn't read the sister one, so I don't know.
But
this one,
sci-fi in general to me is hard because I feel like it's hard for me to just take
complex.
in that. Yes, it's very complex. It's like they're saying, like in this case for Winter Worlds, they're talking a lot of space
it doesn't
terminology.
need to be, though.
And then to me, I'm like, well, are they
Yeah.
even real? Is that how it goes? I don't know.
Right.
Is that how gravity works?
See, like my problem with this book, I hate saying my problem with this book, but my problem with this book was that I thought there was a lot of really smart descriptions, and they were like, "This is happening, and this is what this means," and
Yeah,
like
yeah,
They were
and I was
telling
like,
and not showing.
no, but I was like,
That's my
okay, like
problem.
that's
I needed that 'cause I don't know if they were to show it. I don't know what I'm looking
But
at.
they were like, I was like, okay, that sounds very legitimate. Like, it sounds like the writer actually knows like what they're talking about, and they probably talked to somebody who was like, you know, an astronaut or whatever. But then it's like, we send a nuke at it, and it's like, I feel like
if
that
ain't
probably wouldn't
if that
be
ain't
what
the most
we did.
America thing to do.
Wouldn't
We're
it,
gonna
though?
nuke it.
We have a space force.
But they don't know anything about it. Like, they would know.
How do you know?
But
We
no,
should-
Oh,
we
this
should-
just in. Erica works for fucking Space Force now. I forgot. Is that where all the fucking chupacabras live, Erica?
they had no
Erica.
idea. They had no idea.
Erica.
And what if they missed? They fucking nuke the sun?
I don't know how nukes in space work because I don't work for Space Force.
Also, how did you not fucking notice this thing before the world iced over? The whole fucking
Okay,
world.
all right, let's
Let's do the 60 seconds.
60 seconds.
Let's do the 60 seconds.
They don't know what we're talking about.
The whole world.
We take one little break and the world just like this whole podcast crumbles.
The whole world iced over.
Okay, here we go. 60 second. Who's doing
doing
it?
it?
I could do it because I picked it.
Yeah,
Good.
you
All right.
do it.
And I didn't read the 3rd one, so I wouldn't be able to do it.
Mamas
Stop
and
saying
mimosas.
you didn't rate it.
Mamas and mimosas.
That's for me.
Oh.
All
Okay,
right.
let me get you a timer. Hold on.
Sorry, I have the
Stop.
sniffles.
Okay, but do it over there.
Pregnancy.
Do it over. No, you're not gonna blame.
Leave her alone.
I can make a super cut of all the times you've
Do
done that
it.
before
Do it then.
pre-pregnancy.
Do it then. Do it then. Ready? 3.
Maybe you didn't know though.
Oh, you've been pregnant for 15 fucking months?
All right. Oh no, she's an Ice Planet Barbarian person, so 18 months
Wait,
pregnant.
how do I want to?
It's a long time.
3, 2.
Ice Age meets The Martian. We are with shit. I didn't say what this is. Can you pause it real quick?
Sci-Fi.
Pause this.
What?
We're gonna do this thing on the podcast where we explain. I can't just jump. Yeah,
shoot it. Okay, go back. We'll restart.
We take a break and we don't know what we're doing.
Exactly.
We're gonna do this thing on the podcast where we attempt to explain the entire plot summary of book in 60 seconds or less. Here is Winterworld
by A.G. Riddle
in 60 seconds or less. Go.
In 3, 2.
Ice Age meets The Martian. I'm keeping all of that in.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a dual perspective book. We start with Emma, who's in space. Whoa. Something bad happens, and her crew dies, and she's floating in fucking space. It's bad. And then we go to James, who's in prison. What the fuck?
I know, right?
What did he do? And he's a doctor. We don't know what he did, and this prison escapes. The world is icing over. Ice Age. It's turning to fucking ice before our eyes. And James gets out of prison because they're like, hey, we need you to go to space and solve this problem. We think that there's like another object up there that is causing all of this problem. 20 seconds left?
20 seconds left.
Holy fuck. So James goes to space, saves Emma. They create drones for a really long fucking time. They get back to Earth at some point and they're like, we got to fight these aliens. There's aliens. There's the problem is causing them. They start a fucking space war.
4,
they defeat them.
3,
but there's
2,
a twist at the end.
1. Stop.
And I'm not going to tell you what it is.
Okay.
So this book started out fucking great.
Dude, this book, when I first started
Real
was
strong.
actively like gasping at the end of every chapter.
Talk about a goosebumps.
Where do you think it fell apart? For me,
It fell apart when they were in space.
In space. It was all drone. Like as soon as he got into space and saved her and like they were in. So did you all listen to this book?
Yeah.
Okay. So the beginning with her being in space and him being in prison was really fucking cool. The prison story was actually very interesting. Yeah. And so Emma, like I said, it starts with Emma in space, and
she's part of the International Space Station, and her dream is to create life on a different planet,
which is cool.
Yeah, good shit.
And
I think that's a little foreshadowing.
Yeah, totally.
Because I think the rest of the series, they do go to somewhere else.
I would imagine.
So it's like near future kind of thing.
What actually happens that causes does something hit them? It was solar flare.
So it was a solar flare, kind of like a solar anomaly. Yeah. That's the word. And so think of it like a kind of force field like hit.
Yeah.
And it just destroys the ISS.
But no, but it was in reaction to them
it's in
trying
reaction
to take...
Yes.
They took a picture
of
the artifact.
Quickly just saying it. There are artifacts, quote unquote artifacts, that are taking the solar power from the sun, blocking it from Earth. This is why Earth is cooling and like actually literally freezing over. Mm-hmm. The ISS sees this, tries to get information from it via like a picture or something, and tries to send that information back down to Houston. Yep. I always call it Houston. It's not Houston, but Houston, we have a problem.
Yes.
So try to send in the way of them sending info, the artifact sort of does like a defense mechanism and sends a hit, being like, nah, you ain't gonna get our information. Fucking blows up the ISS.
Yes.
And she's the only one that sort of like got her suit on in time. And she survives.
She miraculously survives.
She found one of the pods that would have been, because she at the beginning of the book, she's like, everyone get to your escape pods.
Yeah.
So she just happened to be close enough to one to get it, gets her pod. All her people are dead. She tries to go she finds a body of one of her like crewmates, which was so sad. She's like, oh my God, he's dead.
What a fucking nightmare.
So scary.
I don't think they would have allowed her to go look.
Well, they don't.
Didn't.
They can't really.
No, they did. They eventually did.
They were like, no, she was dead in the water anyway.
They were like, no, you can't look. And then she's like, but I want to. And they're like, okay.
Yeah, she's dead at that point. With all that's going on, like the way her body has been deteriorating as well, it's like they're like, there's a very high chance that you're not going to get saved.
Yeah.
So then, do you think they actually would like launch somebody up in space to save one person?
Their mission wasn't to save her at all.
Yeah, it wasn't that.
No, I know.
No. I don't think so.
You think they would be like
the resources,
sorry.
No.
The amount of time it takes, time works so differently.
There's probably so many things you sign that's like if you're stuck up there, you're stuck up there for life.
Right. So these artifacts, right? They're from an alien form, which apparently comes before us. They've seen us like as humans live and die several cycles, being like yada.
So then we go to James, who's in prison.
He's in prison,
and he has like this relationship with one of the guards, and all of the prisoners go crazy. They are like, the world is freezing over. I mean,
they know they're going to be left to die anyway.
It's interesting that you said ice planet because I was thinking Day After Tomorrow.
I said Ice Age.
Or Ice Age, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same shit, right?
Ice Age is just cuter.
Ice Age is the planet's already
Well, no,
frozen.
but like I was thinking like Day After Tomorrow because like it literally freezes over like
Yeah,
as they're
it's
doing
basically
it.
that.
And then it's like so I
True.
was picturing
And in the
what
way-
happened in Day After Tomorrow.
Yeah.
So in
How
the
it was
way the
happening.
world is working right now, it's like it's gonna freeze over within a couple months. That's how fast it's
fucking
going.
imagine?
And so everybody's trying to get themselves to the hottest places in the world. And obviously there's a
Arizona?
lot of people, not even Arizona.
No, it was like
not
they were
even.
trying to go to
I thought it was
Africa.
Africa,
yeah, but
like
Death
the Middle
Valley
East,
was in there too.
Australia,
Yeah.
Mexico.
Mexico. But like even then, those would like not last.
They
as
had
long.
camps though in the
Yeah,
United
they
States.
started
in
having camps, but then
Arizona, yeah.
by the time that James and then come back, they're all the way down in like
right.
Australia and stuff like that.
So we don't know why James is in prison.
We don't. We go. That's
They
a very
hint towards
long.
it. They're like,
long time.
he
No,
was-
hinting.
he says he like invented something.
Yeah, so, but
He's
yeah.
an inventor of some sort, and he invented something that obviously the human race was not ready for. But
Which
they didn't
is-
tell
to me
us for
still
a
doesn't
while.
make sense why he was in prison, but we'll get to that. So the
And
prisoners.
he's the only guy that could help
I know.
the world.
Hey, listen.
So
It's
the-
the one. It's the what's it called trope? The
Chosen one?
The chosen one trope.
Yeah, basically the government comes to James and said, "Hey, we're going to let you out of prison early. Please, we need you to help us save the planet. Go up to space and figure out what these artifacts are. And while you're there,
Articrafts?
what?
Articrafts?
Did I say that?
Artifacts, yeah.
Artifacts. You know what I meant. And while you're up there, if you're around to it, maybe grab fucking Emma on the way.
And not for nothing, guess what? You get 30 hours to train to be an astronaut, where most people train multiple years and fuck
That
your
reminds me
G-force.
of the Rocket Man movie.
The Rocket Man movie, dude. I got the whole world in my hands. I got the
But yeah, that to me, that singular thing. Oh my
We're
god, you
so
guys are.
fucked.
sorry. Go on.
Get ready. You're gonna have a kid.
Yep.
That singular thing about like them just fucking shooting him into space was like the most unrealistic
That
thing that I
might have
think I've
been-
ever read in a
Remember,
book.
he
where
is
I've
also a
ever and I read
scientist.
and we read it.
Okay.
Ice Planet.
No,
Barbarians.
time out. If the world was ending, and
He would fucking be so sick he wouldn't even be able to think straight.
I don't know, I've never been to space. They're sending civilians into space now.
They're
After what, 3 months of training?
They're sending civilians into like baby space.
No, they're not. They're sending them into space.
Where?
We talked about this last time, that there was a contest. I don't know if Elon Musk held it or who held it.
Are you talking about when they shoot them into like the?
No, they
space?
went
Baby
into
space.
space.
Baby
Space
space.
is space. What are you talking about?
Well,
They went on a spaceship as astronauts and went into space. It was the very first all-civilian, look it up, very first all-civilian space flight.
I can't
I
fight
don't think
this.
that's unrealistic at all. It is what it is.
I mean, I'd do it tomorrow if I could. Why not?
but 3 months of training.
That's fine.
But it's not just like
Well, they had no time.
I don't
The world
think
was
that's
freezing
I don't
over.
think that's
the point of
unrealistic.
training though is not just like, oh, you need to
It's
know
to
how
adapt your body.
It's the
Correct.
adaptation of like the G-force and like the
Right, but
atmospheric
when the world
pressure.
is
not
freezing
gonna
over and
kill
you
you.
have no time, they say
it was
figure it
killing
out.
her.
Yeah, because
She was
up
already
there
in
for like
space. She was up there
years.
for like over a year, I think.
Yeah.
So
I know, but I think
been
it was
part
the
of she's been part of the ISS this entire
Because
time.
she said it was the altitude sickness.
Which
It
makes
would be the
sense.
same thing. You
Because
die from
she
altitude
went-
sickness.
she
Same thing
went-
with Everest.
If you're
Because when
not-
she got hit, the pressure of her bodysuit got fucked. So like she got her. It's different for her because she's already in space
I'm
for a
not
long
saying
time.
that G-force can't kill you. It 100% can, and it has. Like, they are creating roller coasters so that people could die on them. I don't know if you've
that's
heard of
What the
fun.
fuck?
No, it's like the real thing that.
So that people could die on them?
yeah, it's like I think it's called a suicide roller coaster or something. That if somebody with an illness wanted to die, they can
Like an
get.
assisted suicide on a
I don't
roller
know that
coaster?
it. I don't
think
know
I've
that it
heard of that.
existed, but they were talking about building it in like China or something.
I think I've
I
heard
don't
of
know if
that.
that's real information. That's not facts. I don't want to spread misinformation, but look it up. That's a real thing. That roller coaster thing was a real thing they were talking about. That it creates so much G-force that you literally just die.
But what if you don't?
That's what I always said. But like, I don't think it's unrealistic that they sent him into space with that much time left. I think it's possible he could have been fucked up from it for sure. But they had no choice, right?
So essentially, James, the riot happens because the ice is getting closer to the jail,
Prison, yeah.
right? And the jail people are like, "Dude, don't let us just die here. Let us have autonomy. Y'all leave us alone." Da da da.
yeah.
Everyone gets killed on that jail.
Which, like, Also, that was kind of crazy how they did that.
Yeah, they gave up. So the guys in the
guns were
they asked for
drugged.
guns. They were like, "Give us guns, give us weapons," and the cops gave them guns, but the guns were
Yeah,
laced with a poison.
That was wild.
So everyone who touched the gun dropped dead, but James
Do you
never
think
touched
they would
it.
do that?
No.
They would kill
I don't know.
everyone?
That's the most unrealistic thing, I think.
I don't know.
I
But
feel like it would be an incapacitated
Anyway.
situation.
Either way, he
there's
goes
so much going on
when he goes to space. James finally goes to space.
with a whole crew of people. You have
This
like
is
a
where-
weaponologist.
This is where I fell off. They spend the next however many chapters building drones.
20 chapters or so.
It's 20 chapters of building drones and just like trying to fucking get to these objects in the sky and trying to make communication. It picks up a little bit again when they finally make first contact.
Mm-hmm.
But then I don't know, I kept spacing out. It was very heavily like space talk. Everything was like super
I
like
skipped a couple chapters.
interesting.
I love finding that out like
I know. It's just
mid-episode.
so, you could have, honestly.
I didn't. I
probably blacked out for a couple
It was
chapters.
honestly like I didn't. I just turned the page.
Yeah, this is where it fell off for me.
So for me,
The middle of the book was
what kept me
ugh.
going was James and Emma
It was
having
a romance.
relationship.
There was
I
a
don't
romance.
think that romance was that good.
No, I think it fell
wasn't.
off bad at the end, but I think in the beginning it started cute because it was sort of like a last survivors kind of thing.
There was no depth to this whole story. Like, in my opinion,
What do you mean depth?
there was no like. The characters, to me, their relationship felt flat. To me, it
Yeah.
didn't feel.
Yeah, no, I feel that.
So I don't know. Like it didn't. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know. I wish I could
Two-dimensional.
explain it. Yeah.
Two-dimensional.
Either way,
Surface level.
After they were doing all this drone
There was no
stuff,
chemistry, and this is what happens when you add romance into a book that probably doesn't need romance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get that. So James and Emma
Let's push
are,
towards the end
are
here.
walking. Yeah, not walking. They're in space. They're trying to get these drones done. Yada yada yada. One of their space pods sort of like gets lost too, and at the end, because Emma's sort of like deteriorating as they go, and because James is like sort of the only person who can save, the people on the ship that they were all together, like these engineers, these scientists, a bunch of smart people, opt to send Emma and James back to Earth on the only escape pod they have.
Yeah.
Also, I don't think that would happen. Either.
I don't get why they sent them back.
I think it's because James has information about what to do,
Okay.
and
That's right.
they didn't
And they
have enough
couldn't like
fuel.
transmit it back.
They
because
can't
all the
send it back.
satellites
because
are gone.
Every time they transmit anything, the
artifacts.
aliens pick up on it and go after
So they
them.
had to send them back
It's a real fucking bummer.
to get the info to the ground. And as they're coming back, time has changed, time has passed, and a lot of the ice has gone and come over. So
it's bad now.
the alliances, like the countries, are sort of split. It's like you have like Russia and China and Japan, I think, on one end, and then you have like America and France. I don't know.
There was
factions.
It was Japan and Australia that were together, and they were trying to like coax them to like land
So
near
Japan
them.
and Australia
right,
were
yeah.
trying to make him come a different way, but they sounded shady as fuck.
Yeah.
So then
probably
our
were.
American guys were like, hey, no, come this way and don't respond to what I just said. Just come this way.
Yep.
So basically, figure it out. Everyone's sort of against each other, trying to figure out how to beat this thing. But yeah, aliens exist. The world doesn't really know yet, but some people do. It's like it's an alien life form.
Emma and James start like this war, right? In space, there ends up being a war. They like send a nuke. Didn't we talk about that?
Yeah.
So they send like a nuke to this thing, but how do they make contact? I got really confused in this whole part.
He named himself Art,
They send a drone to the artifact.
Okay.
but the
And-
artifact like
And
starts talking
with
to them.
code.
yeah.
Different kinds of code, and then if it responds with the next sequence in that code, that's how we know it's like knowledge. It's not the word, but intelligent
Yeah.
response,
Yeah.
and that's how it goes.
And then he basically, no joke, was like, FaceTime call, like let's chit chat, and they
Yeah.
fucking have a literal phone conversation
that
that
to
literally
me-
reminded me of FaceTime.
That was the worst part, was when he meets the alien.
So
Right?
James,
our big bad.
You're talking about James.
James,
So
yeah.
James sends out a code. They make
James's
contact.
team.
Yes.
James's team.
Actually,
knew
it's
the
more
code.
like a Zoom call.
Sure.
Okay.
Because
so,
then he sends over like information and he shows them like
So they didn't
'cause-
send a nuke yet.
they nuked it a while
nuked
ago.
one artifact, but
Okay.
there are others. That's the issue.
Okay.
Like more and more are
So
showing
that
up.
guy, that artifact is probably fucking pissed.
Yeah.
So anyway, they make contact with it, and now they're talking to each
And
other.
now Art, which is the artifact.
His name's Art.
Fucking the worst.
Okay.
So Art is like, he's just fucking with them. Like, this is like the most like ridiculous dialogue I've ever read.
Yep.
And he's just like, oh, well, I'm just gonna show you this little thing, and he like sends a clip of like that's supposed to like rock them or something like that.
Basically, so
He's trying to like create a divide between the two of them. Like he's a fucking villain in a reality TV
it's
show.
honestly
Like,
it's very Dr. Evil.
Yeah.
It's very Dr. Evil of it. And he's the artifact, or the Artie, I guess, tries to divide them, right? And so at that point, Jane, again, all of this is happening and the world's still freezing over,
Yes.
but this time is taking its sweet time.
Right.
at one point he says there's only 4 minutes before these drones hit.
Oh,
Dude,
yes!
the 4-minute countdown.
And the 4 minutes,
Yeah.
we went through
filled the whole
multiple,
thing.
like
Yes.
probably an hour.
There was a
worth
part
of
where it was
stuff.
like they were like 10 seconds left, and then they went through like 3 paragraphs of things happened. 4 seconds.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. So he
James
was like,
is like his fingers are going so fast.
James is thinking like, okay, the drones are on their way to nuke them. This Artie is trying to stop me by trying to like make me work with them to stop it.
Yeah.
So that means Artie has not gotten into our systems. That means that, he doesn't know the codes
It's a lot
to stop
of
it.
like
Yeah.
connecting
and
the
then it's
dots.
like 30 seconds. And it's just like, okay.
So how does
Cool.
this end?
So it ends with the artifacts are destroyed, but that doesn't mean they're not going to come back again, and we
Because
don't
the
know.
grid is the big bad.
But
but the grid is like a way.
The artifact exposes why James was in prison, because Emma still to this day didn't know why
Yeah.
James was in prison, and that
She
is
didn't really care.
because that's because James's dad was dying in the past, and he created he created basically a body to put his brain into so that he could keep living.
Yep.
This is so interesting. And the artifact was saying, yeah, you created something that already exists in the future. Essentially,
it's
on
already,
the grid.
It's always existed.
Yeah, he was like, we
just haven't let you guys have it because
Yeah.
you're too primitive and you're too dumb as a species to get it. You always kill
So,
yourselves before you get to that
They're
point.
like, we
And
live
it
in
checks
this.
out.
They were like, we live in this grid that you don't even know about, and like humans are just too dumb to realize that you could live forever.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I want to talk about. If this were real, why would it would be so bad if humans lived forever?
This is why he was imprisoned.
And it's true, right? Like if I died tomorrow and you're like, okay, I'm gonna take her brain and put it into like a new body, like an AI body, and I could essentially live for all of eternity.
Your consciousness lives forever.
That's fucking miserable.
It would only suck if like people could not evolve like their emotions and their like intellect. Like
There's just so many people.
my biggest standpoint that I have like in general is like I think the world's gonna be a better place once our parents' generation dies. And I don't mean that because like I think my mom's a shitty person or my dad or like I think my parents are great. I think there's a lot of great people that live in that generation. I just mean that entire like grouping of people grew up in a time where it was just like
And every single
there's too many of them
group
that
says that.
haven't been able to evolve to the next level of like understanding and compassion.
Wait until Gen Z wants us to die.
It's the thing. That's what it is.
I don't
it's a ladder.
I don't think it's necessarily like us. I think the generation above us is fine.
Some of them.
No, but I really, really think it's the boomers that like need
I
to fucking
totally
go.
disagree, but
But I think that what's the next level above us? It's Gen X.
Gen X.
I think they're fine.
I don't agree with any of that. But
But that's what I'm trying to say is that
I know
don't
what you
know.
mean. I know what you mean.
I don't know if I think we would suck because I don't know if we'd be able to advance in the time frame in which we lived.
I totally agree with that part. Like we wouldn't advance. But the problem is that there would be so many. Like where would
There's
we
too
all
many.
go?
The thing is, like,
Overpopulation, yeah.
We already have that problem, and so if you're able to still continue living within AI bodies, then like, how do you procreate later?
It would only be people. It would be affluent people. It wouldn't be everybody.
I feel like the elite would do it.
Okay, I
Sure.
have some questions about
Go.
this book. Is it at all possible to survive an ice age?
No,
Not at all?
no,
Not if the animals are dead too.
You don't think we'd like adapt over time, like to become
No,
ice
not
warriors?
quickly enough.
Mm-mm.
So this got me thinking about like, because we did experience an ice age. And humans were around, right? When the ice age happened.
I mean Neanderthals. Maybe.
Neanderthals, yeah. Like what would you, imagine it happens over time, obviously. So like you would have time to start like planning out.
I think in this case there might be some that survive, but I don't know if they're going to be able to procreate quickly enough to sustain survival.
I wonder if it was like such a slow thing that if your body would eventually adapt to it.
This was too fast.
Right. Like if this was like a process that happened over like millions of years, like eventually would we become ice planet barbarians?
Yeah.
Yes.
A
in
millions
that case,
of years,
yes.
but no, I don't even think 10 years would be enough.
No, I agree.
Because if you think about it, our planet is warming up.
Yeah.
And we have not adapted to that.
No, we're fucked.
Yeah.
We're so fucked.
So think of it, I mean, it is the opposite technically, and we would not be able to adapt the other way.
Yeah, I'm just going through my notes right now on this
Have a
book.
lot.
I wrote, must have done so much research. We talked about that at the beginning. I feel like I would have tried to survive this shit. I've been watching a lot of Naked and Afraid. Maria, I know you have too.
Yes.
So survival is like number one on my mind right now. And I'm like,
Yep.
if I was placed in this position and I had to survive, like what the fuck would I do? That'd be a really, really shitty way to go.
Yeah, you'd
To
be
freeze?
freezing
Yeah.
to death. It's so painful.
Yeah.
I'd
Would you rather
have
be Emma in space dying, like getting lost in space, or you'd rather freeze on Earth?
rather freeze on Earth.
I don't know.
I'd rather be and
I
open
don't-
my
I
helmet,
think-
and that'd be that.
Yeah, I think I'd rather go quick.
Yes.
I don't want to have a prolonged suffering.
Yes.
I'd rather die.
Oh, there was a
frozen.
line in this book that I wrote down. It says, "We desire in adulthood what we were deprived in childhood." And I said, "Damn!"
Yeah, it's what everybody wants.
Didn't know that.
That's why when your parents want you to do something that they used to want to do.
Dang, maybe that's interesting. The idea of putting our brains in different bodies is fascinating. Oh, and this one. They said in this book, and I quote, "I released the breath I hadn't known that I was holding."
Yep.
That's it. That's my last note.
Yep.
Yeah. I thought the romance was, it almost felt like the publisher was like, can you fix that? And he was like, and he was like, okay, I'm going to make their meeting a little bit more saucy. And then I'm going to give them a fade to black sex scene right here for the last, I don't know, 3 paragraphs of this chapter. And then I'm going to like change a couple of dialogues to make it seem like they maybe are more in love. Like it was just like, and it's so easy to add romance to a relationship like this. You just have to add like some flirty sentences here and there. Like it really wasn't difficult to make their relationship move to the next level. And I just feel like whoever edited this book didn't do a good job of like kind of seeing that romance really didn't make sense for most of the book.
I knew it was going to happen the minute they met.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like they tinkered it at the beginning and then they let it just plateau and it turned into like this friendship. And then at the end, they were like, oh, let's turn the heat up
Friends
again.
to lovers.
Yeah.
What I hated about this book is that she came in as a scientist, as this badass like space explorer.
Yeah.
And you end it with her getting fucking pregnant.
So that was in the epilogue, right?
That was the epilogue.
As soon as they said that, I was like, Maria's out. I literally.
But they literally made her that like
I know.
wife at home.
I know.
She wants to create colonies on different planets, but you make her as the stay-at-home
Yeah,
wife
that
with
pissed me off.
babies.
I know.
because
I'm like,
he's smarter than her.
fuck that shit. That made
It's
me
true.
so
They
mad.
basically made him Elon Musk.
Yeah.
But they also like made her on the fucking spaceship being like, she's the only one that's been helping us. She's so good at building this, that, and the other. Like they made her have substance and purpose on the ship in space. But then when he gets back, he's doing all the work and she's just trying to build
the
his friendship back
Men
up.
are smarter.
Erica, what the fuck?
She's trolling.
But no, I'm just like, this is
because
a
that's how they
dude
write
writing
it.
a book.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Yeah.
A man has to come in and
save
save
her.
the day.
That's exactly how the book you chose is. It's funny because as
But
I read
in a romance, it
as
fucking
I
it
read
happens.
every book that you've recommended, Erica, as I read them, I'm like, there is such a fucking formula.
Yeah.
That no wonder you can't read these other books because it's not. It's
But
so.
like, and then you go into a
asinine.
non-romance book, and guess what? The guy still fucking saves the world, so it like doesn't matter.
I know, but I'm just saying the contrast is incredible.
I think
And
James,
then at the end of the day, I actually enjoyed the book you recommended more than I did this one.
Really?
We'll
I
talk,
like this
we'll talk
one.
about it.
I thought this one was fun.
I liked it too. I didn't hate it at all. I gave
made
it
me
a,
think-
it was my favorite of Kristen's picks.
What did we all rate it? Because I gave it a 3.14 apple pie.
I gave it a 4. Apple pie.
I
That's what I wrote as my review.
Ugh, nice.
I gave it a hard 3.
Okay.
I gave it a 4, mainly because I don't read much sci-fi. So as one of the first sci-fis I've read, I have nothing to compare it to.
I was
So I'm at
hoping for, and you know what? I went off of a recommendation, and I should have known there would be some romance. The sci-fi that I like kind of wanted was like something just completely out of this world, like that didn't have any connections with like real life, is what I wanted. But this felt too real
to me, it was the like when I read a book like this, I want it to be perfect in terms of like the science and the space stuff, and I just think there was too many gaps in which we had to like.
I think I'm not smart enough to catch those moments, but I understand what you're talking about.
There was just too many moments where there was just too big of gaps in what I thought was logical, like science.
That's fair.
And I also thought that it was very elementary, some of the things that were added in. Like
I agree.
Like bringing up like the fucking Newton's third law, like as an astrophysicist, like
Yeah, I agree.
I would be fucking embarrassed.
Yeah.
Like I would be embarrassed for everybody in the room that had to hear that. Like it was, I that was the cringiest thing I think I've ever listened to. Newton's third law, and then
I've read worse.
They like related their fucking relationship to being planets and like the push and the pull. And
They
I was
are
like, ooh.
literally like you're talking to what I would thought was the smartest guy on Earth, and you're quoting fucking Newton's third law.
It's
You learned that in 7th grade, and then like
You learned
art,
that.
art.
Kristen was in.
I'm over here
remedial
like, what the fuck
classes.
is Newton? Chris?
Energy cannot be created.
Is that what it is? Does that have anything to do with gravity?
I'm over here like, yeah, it's crazy. Someone remind me what it is.
I don't even know what Newton's third law
I can't
is.
remember. I don't care about science.
No. Shit.
Tell us what's Newton.
Energy cannot be created or destroyed.
Isn't that
Oh
movie?
yeah.
What's that movie with not Bradley Cooper, the other one?
the space one with George Clooney and Sandra Bullock?
No.
Gravity?
Gravity, not Gravity. Fucking
Interstellar?
Interstellar. Who's that guy?
Matthew McConaughey.
Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
All right.
So Interstellar, they name their daughter something after. Did you watch that movie?
Yeah.
I did in
Newton's
theaters.
third law.
That shit good.
Oh my God, what was her
It just works better in a movie.
Here we go again.
It does.
This would have been a cool movie.
I think so.
Would have been way better as a movie.
Yeah, I
but
agree.
the other thing that bothered me was Art bringing up Einstein, being like, Einstein
yeah.
was right. MC squared.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
get the fuck
more-
out
okay,
of here.
okay.
You fucking
You're right.
AI bot.
You're right.
Like,
The
what
more
do you mean?
she's- more she's saying this-
that's a great one because I did listen to
You're
it and I
right.
was like,
You're right.
huh.
Erica, the more you're bringing this up, the more I'm like, fuck, you're right.
It
That
was
might be
too-
why. That might
but
be why I
like,
hated
okay,
it.
so
They tried to throw everything in there.
you
that was
use
like,
those
It's
examples.
like, look, we know science.
Yeah,
You
you're
use
right.
those examples that are literally things that literally 10-year-olds know, right?
Yeah.
And you put that juxtaposed to like a really, really interesting paragraph about like the science between like space travel and like
The solar flares.
you know, the solar flares and all
Yeah.
this stuff. And it's like, it sounds like somebody else wrote that and you were just like, MC squared.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
it just,
I get that. Yes, I get you. I
You
get
brought me. I couldn't put my finger on a lot of the things I didn't like, but that
was the number one thing I did not like about this book, and I wanted it to be smarter. That was my problem.
enough.
I think I enjoyed the narrators, and I felt like that kind of kept me going.
Oh no, that's the next book.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought the narrator. I thought the narrator was
I thought the
great.
narrators
Narrators
are
are
great.
great. I agree.
think they did great with the voices. Like
Yeah.
they did different dialects really well.
Yes. So if
so
you
that
want to
kept
listen,
us engaged.
it's on Scribd. If you have a Scribd membership, highly recommend listening to this book.
I thought it
I
was
listened
great.
to this book on ×2 speed though.
I did too.
I did on
1.8.
1.5.
1.8. I was fast.
I've been keeping it at 1.5 just because things that I don't understand, I
Yeah, that's fair.
can't go faster because then my brain's like, well, I guess we're not going to retain nothing.
Probably
I
what
can't
happened to
go
me.
lower than 1.2.
yeah, no.
Oh, it's bad now.
Never.
It's ruined.
I
me.
can't. Like 1.5 is like my safe space.
Yeah. yeah.
I agree.
But
All
1.8
right.
is like, I don't like this book.
All right, let's wrap this shit up.
When I'm at 2, you know it's bad.
Yeah. Let's get the fuck through this.
Like after I listened to that 2 times speed,
Oh,
man, that was
man.
all
All right. All right.
dude.
So if you want to continue on this space ride with us, let's not do recommendations for this one. We'll save it for our next.
you know what my recommendation
Oh,
is?
Jesus.
The Day After Tomorrow.
The day after. Okay, there's your
Movie.
recommendation.
It's
Go
a movie.
watch The Day After Tomorrow.
You know what? Is there ever a movie that like when you click through the channels, which is kind of becoming a little bit outdated because most people don't have cable, but if you click through the channels, is there a movie
Yes.
that you will always watch?
Harry
50
Potter,
First Dates.
Mean
Okay.
Girls.
Legally Blonde.
Okay. Mine is the day after tomorrow.
Oh,
I don't know why.
Very light.
I don't know why.
Very
very
light.
light. Yeah.
I don't know why.
That's fair.
I
No
don't think
reason.
I don't think I've actually seen Day After Tomorrow.
I've seen Scary Movie and they make fun of it, so that's usually what I go after.
I agree with 50 First Dates though.
I love it. First Day.
Good.
Okay.
Love Adam
Thank
Sandler.
you everybody so much. If you want to hear Erica's embarrassing stories, not embarrassing. If you want to hear Erica's
Funny pregnancy stories.
interesting
Funny pregnancy story.
go on over to our Patreon. You could become a patron. Join us on Discord. There's like a bajillion people in there now. Xena's here, as you can
Our
tell.
Patreon has a lot of deleted scenes from the podcast.
Yeah,
if you aren't,
outtakes.
Yeah, we have a lot of
Patreon. Yeah.
yeah, we have a lot of outtakes on there, like funny moments that like we get cut out of the episodes. So if you are a really big like Books and Betches fan, you might wanna.
Yeah, and
just-
we're also doing a book club.
Yeah, we do the book club.
There's
and
actually
you get an extra episode.
There's extra episodes on our Patreon. So if you're like, I need more, there it is. And as always, follow us on Instagram. That's books_and_Betches, BETCHES. Like us everywhere that you can, and subscribe, right? Blah blah blah. And guess what? We'll see you in the next one. Bye. Bye.